If you are caring for an older loved one, you know just how stressful mealtime can become. So today, we're going to talk about one of the toughest challenges out there: what to do when they just lose their appetite. It's a really hard situation, but believe me, there are some compassionate and practical ways to handle it.
This quote right here, it just gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? You go to all this effort, you make their favorite foods, and that lack of interest, it could be so disheartening. It's a worry that affects their health, sure, but it also affects your own peace of mind. I just want you to know you are so not alone in feeling this way.
It's a question that's probably crossed your mind, right? Especially when you're feeling frustrated. You've tried everything, and it can start to feel like you're in this, this battle of wills. But is that what's really happening?
Well, here's the thing. More often than not, it has nothing to do with being difficult. It's usually because of these really complex changes that happen as we age. Things like their sense of taste and smell fading, or even just not feeling hungry in the same way. Getting your head around that is, honestly, the first step to finding a gentler way forward.
Okay, so let's get practical. Before we try any creative recipes or new strategies, there is one absolutely critical, non-negotiable first step. We have to put on our detective hats and make sure we're not missing a bigger health problem.
So first things first, you've got to book a visit with their doctor. A sudden loss of appetite can be a red flag for a serious health issue. Or it could be a side effect from a medication they're on. It could even be something as simple as a toothache that makes chewing painful. Ruling these things out first is absolutely essential.
All right, so once you've had that medical checkup and you've gotten the all clear, now it's time to experiment a little. And I want you to think of these next 6 ideas as a toolkit, not a strict set of rules. The goal here is all about patience and creativity, not pressure.
So we're going to walk through each of these 6 strategies, from why a simple schedule can work wonders to the magic of smoothies, and finally, how you can become an expert on what works for your loved one.
First up, routine is your friend. As we get older, the body's natural hunger signals can really quiet down, so we can't always wait for our loved one to say, "Hey, I'm hungry." But if you serve meals and snacks at around the same time every day, you're helping their body get into a rhythm, to anticipate food and to feel ready for it.
Now, let's talk about the psychology of the plate. Seriously, think about it. A giant plate piled high with food can feel totally overwhelming and might just make someone not want to even start. So the trick is to serve smaller portions. You could even try shifting from 3 big meals a day to maybe 5 smaller, much more approachable ones.
But you might be thinking, how do I make sure they're getting enough calories in those small portions? That's where you get clever. You make every bite count by adding nutrient-dense foods. A little olive oil, some mashed avocado, a spoonful of nut butter, or some soft cheese. These can all boost the calories and nutrition in a big way.
Okay, here's a barrier that we honestly don't think about enough. For some seniors, especially if they have arthritis or tremors or even dementia, just using a fork and knife can be really frustrating. And sometimes that frustration is enough to make them give up on the meal altogether.
The solution? It's actually pretty fun. Finger foods. Think about things like chicken strips, fish sticks, meatballs, or even steamed carrot and broccoli sticks. They're easy to pick up, it gives them a sense of independence, and it just removes that whole utensil barrier.
This one really builds on that smaller meals idea. Sometimes the whole concept of sitting down for a full meal is what's intimidating. It's totally okay for them to graze throughout the day as long as the snacks they're reaching for are nutritious.
So what does that look like? Just keep your kitchen stocked with healthy, easy-to-grab stuff. Things like string cheese, little cups of full-fat yogurt, diced fruit, or some simple peanut butter and crackers. It just makes it easier for them to get some nutrition in whenever they feel like it.
And now for a true classic. If chewing has become hard or tiring or even painful for them, liquid nutrition can be an absolute game changer. It's just often so much easier and more appealing than trying to get through a solid meal.
This could be a creamy soup with a little extra olive oil, a smoothie packed with fruit and yogurt, or even just a simple milkshake. And I love this point from the source material. A milkshake made with good quality ice cream is a whole lot better than them eating nothing at all.
Okay, and here is a really critical safety warning. If your loved one has been diagnosed with something called dysphagia, which is a condition that makes swallowing difficult, thin liquids can actually be dangerous. You must always check with their doctor or a speech therapist before going this route.
Now, theory is great, but some of the best advice comes from people who are living this every single day. The article this is all based on had tons of comments from real caregivers, and I wanted to share a couple of their brilliant ideas.
Take a look at this one from a caregiver named Peggy.
She shared this amazing recipe that combines the treat of good ice cream with a nutritional supplement and fresh fruit. I mean, it sounds delicious, right? It's just a perfect example of that creative problem-solving we were talking about.
And then there's Anagram, who shared a whole list of tips. She reminds us that it's not always about the food itself. Sometimes it's about the atmosphere. Playing some nice music, making sure you eat together, and tapping into those happy memories with something classic like a chocolate malt, that stuff can make all the difference.
Which brings us to our final strategy, and honestly, it might be the most important one. After you try all these different things, how do you know what's actually making a difference? Well, you become a detective.
It's as simple as creating a little log, just like this one. Just jot down the time of day, what food you offered, and how they reacted. Over a little bit of time, you'll start to see patterns pop out. Like in this example, maybe you'll notice their appetite is way better in the afternoon. Or maybe sweet things are always a hit, but savory things are a miss.
See what this does? It gives you the power. It takes all the guesswork out of the equation. It helps you focus your energy on what's actually working for your loved one, and it gives you permission to let go of the things that just aren't.
And that's where we'll leave it. If there's one big takeaway today, it's to be gentle with your loved one, but also with yourself. This whole thing is a journey of patient experimentation. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Looking at everything we've talked about, what's just one small, gentle experiment that you can try at the very next meal?